Hunter x Hunter, the tale of a young boy and his pursuit of understanding who his father was and why he left him at such a young age. Hunter x Hunter is the 2011 adaptation of Yoshihiro Tagashi's manga of the same title, an anime that is both well-reviewed and loved, but at the same time it continues to be underappreciated. It is a show that takes what you know and love about anime and turns it on its head while building a huge and breathtaking world of adventure and wonder. I could spend hours and hours talking about this show, but for today, we are going to focus on the first arc of the show, the Hunter exam. We are going to see how it sets the table by building on what is familiar and opens a door to the exciting story that Tagashi has to tell. One of the complaints I've heard about the show is that the Hunter exam arc is slow. It takes a while before the show gets good. This is something I've never fully understood, because when I watch the first arc, it's easy to see how it is showing the audience something mostly familiar while setting things into motion that are going to subvert the genre. Starting in episode 1, we are introduced to our little anime boy, Gon. On the surface, Gon seems just like your normal shonen anime protagonist. We are shown he can do extraordinary things right off the bat as he catches the Master of the Swamp and sets off on his promised journey of taking the Hunter exam. But unlike other shonen protagonists, whose pursuits usually involve trying to become the best, Gon's motives are different. Sure, he says when he comes back he will be the best hunter in the world. But it does not take long for us to realize that his goals are more than that. He tells his Aunt Mito that he wants to be a hunter because if his father was willing to leave him to go pursue it, then it must be something special. From that, we see that his ultimate goal is to find out what this vast and amazing world is and why its allure took his father. The first few episodes follow along a path of introduction. We see a bit of our new world and are introduced to the important players in this adventure. By the end of the first episode, we have met Leorio and Kurapika. Like Gon, on the surface, both characters are familiar. Leorio is your selfish, pervy, comic relief character, while Kurapika is goal-oriented and revenge-obsessed. Both could easily stay in these familiar traits and still be very good characters in the overall arc of the show. But what makes them great is that they do not stay in those traits. With lots of shows still to go, we don't see their full growth in the Hunter exam arc. But what we do see are glimpses of what they could become, both if they follow the path they start on, or the path that is put in motion by meeting Gon. These first few episodes give us our roadmap for the show. We learn that not everything is what it seems, and that tough decisions are coming. Once the exam truly begins, we are introduced to quite possibly the most important character in the show. Well, at least to Gon. While Leorio and Kurapika are different from Gon in many ways, they both more or less come back to the same moral compass. However, Killua is different. He is the same age as Gon, with as much natural talent, if not more. But where Gon has primarily used his abilities to help others, Killua has used it to kill. He is an assassin, born of the most famous family of assassins. In many stories, Killua would have been introduced on a mission, maybe even hunting Gon or someone close to him. But Togashi does something different with this character type. Unlike other bad guys turned good, Killua, when we meet him, has already decided that he does not particularly like the family business, and thus puts him at the perfect crossroads to meet up with Gon. Two young boys, both with immense talents, but different backgrounds leading them to a friendship. As with many anime protagonists, Gon has a charm that attracts everyone to him, both hero and villain. While there really is not a true villain of this arc, the villain archetype is played by Hisoka. At first introduction of Hisoka, we see him killing a person in the most magical way possible. This is Hisoka. He is brutal. He is whimsical. He is a magician. And above all, he lives to fight. Among all the characters, Hisoka fits the shonen anime character type best. He is phytosexual, and nothing else matters to him except procuring the best fight possible. These characters see something in someone, and they do everything to groom them into the best future fight. This is what Hisoka sees in Gon, a perfect future fight, one that may finally satisfy his, lust for battle. In Phase 3 of the Hunter exam, we finally begin to get to the meat of this arc. Phase 1 was more or less an endurance test that showed our characters' resolve. And in Phase 2, a cooking test that showed how they can think outside the box and adapt to this world. In Phase 3, our heroes must face off against a group of inmates. Each of these inmates is sentenced to a ridiculous amount of jail time. And if they beat our heroes, they will see their sentences reduced. The crimes vary from fraud up to hundreds of murders. So each match is different and shows off both our characters' strengths and what will be their weaknesses. Ignoring the opener with Tompa, we start off with Gon against Sedokan in a match of whose candle will go out first. In this match, we see Gon's naivety and his trust in those he does not know play against him, but his natural instincts give him a victory. In the second match, we see Kurapika up against Majitani. In this, we see Kurapika's wits and understanding of the world, which gives him an advantage over the fraudulent tough guy. But we also see his fury and rage, and what he will do to those he seeks revenge. Even though he wins the match and regains his senses, it's clear he does not have that side of him under control. In the third match, we get Leorio against Lerute. We see Leorio's quick thinking and his willingness to help the team. But in his loss, we get his pervy side and his selfish nature costing everyone. Finally, we get Killua against Jones, we truly see how strong Killua is. But also we see how brutal he is. Togashi throws these fights in not only because it is a fun, semi-cliche story that tests our heroes, but because it gives us a foreshadow of what these characters could become and the struggles that they will face to become it. Phase 4 of the Hunter exam puts Gon and Hisoka front and center. The other characters are here, and they do have small stories, but this part is truly about Gon. After his smart thinking brought his team through Phase 3, in Phase 4, he must steal Hisoka's badge without getting killed by Hisoka. Once again, Gon's strengths and weaknesses are on full display. He spends 2 days training to hunt and quickly lift the badge. His natural abilities and animalistic nature lead him to successfully hunt Hisoka. And in the middle of an attack, walk away with the badge. But in his naivety, he does not realize that he is also being hunted and has his badge stolen. Togashi really continues to show us that in this show, things are not going to go how you think. It's easy to miss because it is mixed into the familiar, but he heavily foreshadows the things that are coming. The other thing that we see in this phase is Gon's stubbornness, and how that is both a good thing and a bad thing. When Hisoka gives him back the badge, he refuses it, saying he has not earned it. His stubbornness almost gets in the way of him achieving what he wanted, to pass the Hunter exam. But also, as the phase comes to a close, his stubbornness shows his loyalty and how he will not leave his friends behind. Final phase of the exam is where Togashi gives us a big ol' helping of subverting the genre. Tournament arcs are littered throughout anime and manga, and so as we prepare for a tournament to end the Hunter exam, Togashi turns it on its head. Instead of your classic tournament to see who the winner is, we get a tournament to show us the loser. Only one person will not pass this exam. The rules are simple. Give up and lose your match. Kill and lose your match. Once a match is won, the winner is now a hunter. It is a unique take on the tournament arc, and if we had gotten to see the whole tournament, it would have been. But once again, Togashi is doing something different in this show, and taking us on a different ride than what we are used to. The first match sees Gon against Hanzo the Ninja. Hanzo is clearly more advanced, and Gon's superior, going as far as breaking Gon's arm to get him to yield. Yet, Gon is stubborn and will not give up. He would rather die and fail than give up. This resolve eventually leads to Hanzo giving up and Gon victorious. After the fight, Gon passes out. And that is our tournament. When Gon comes to, he learns everyone has passed the exam, except for Killua. Killua's brother, Illumi, was one of the combatants. And after revealing himself, messing with Killua's head, Killua kills another combatant, bringing the hunter exam to a close, and everyone else successfully becoming a hunter. It's cliché to say it's all about the friends we made along the way, but in this way we truly learned what this arc was about. Togashi is letting us know that these characters' growth and friendships are more important than any cliché fight story he could tell. The stage has been set. Gon has his license and a goal in mind: rescue Killua, and we are left with a fully set table ready for the feast to come in the remaining arcs. I love Hunter x Hunter, mainly because of its characters and their story, and maybe that is why I really do love this initial arc. Before the characters are set off into a dark and scary world, they have to meet and learn who each other are and what is best to fight for. And us, as an audience, get to see this world. But we truly have no idea what is to come.